Hello. Hey. Yeah, that's big. Yeah, the audio thing doesn't work there. I don't have enough space on that. Hello, everybody. Good morning. We're really sorry about all the messing around, but if you're the guy sitting over around here, and if you can see, you've got that giant stack of speakers up above you. So we're really sorry if you're deaf. By coming into this room, you agreed straight away that anything we shout at you and etc., we're not liable for, okay? You can hear us? All the way down there? No. Okay. Okay, we have to do an intro.
Yeah,
don't. I don't have sound. Oh. You have sound?
I have sound.
Do you have sound now?
I have sound. Don't have sound. I have sound. I don't have sound.
Okay. How do we do this? Where's the F5 button? All right. F5. Okay. This should work. We hopefully have. We've been asked to put this in. All right. Do we have? Apparently we have this mad, real cool intro. We worked really hard on that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the lower COG challenge. And we wanted to do it as a TopGear style challenge, but we were told no, our lawyers said no, BBC said no, the Stig said no, everyone said no. And TDC asked us to come up here and do a kind of a little bit of a battle, but not in the traditional sense. But first, we'll do some quick house rules. For those of you who are on the Twitters, you can catch either myself or Glenn at either @Henriksen and @Merrigan. And the official hashtag is TDConf?
TDC onf.
TDC onf, okay. They've got a really odd way of working out your sessions today for if you like speakers or not. And you have to throw some kind of chips into a bucket. So it's either you like, watch the gentleman here. He's going to demonstrate.
Everybody doesn't have the chips, like somebody can raise their hand who doesn't have the chips.
Is this the same kind of thing when they're electing a pope?
Yes, it's like, white smoke, you don't like it. Everyone didn't get chips. Okay, we're going to have,
So we're playing poker later, or what?
No, we're just going to have a really bad scored system.
Okay.
Also, we like speaker feedback. Most of the time, speakers like getting told, we did well, we did bad. And if you didn't like our session, please tell us why. Because it's the equivalent of going up to a developer and saying, hi, I've got a bug. And they go, yeah? And that's it. If you tell a speaker they did bad and you don't tell them why, that's what they're going to try and fix. They don't know how to fix. So just kind of do that. First, a little bit about me. My name is Niall Merrigan. I am the head of custom software development in Capgemini in Stavanger. I am an ASP.NET MVP, Azure Insider, ASP Insider. Generally, I work a lot with Microsoft and stuff. I like whiskey a lot, and I like rugby and a bit too much, yeah. And apparently, I like appearing on magazine covers. And I'm sharing the very small stage with a very big man, and his name is Glenn. He's also my colleague. Do you want to introduce yourself?
He just called me fat. I don't know. It sounded like you called me fat.
No, I called you tall.
Yes. Thanks for that, Niall. So, okay, this is kind of part of the deal me and Niall have with this thing, because we've agreed that the other guy can screw with the other guy.
Yeah.
Well, you got feedback.
That wasn't me. That was actually really good. That wasn't me screwing with your talk. I think it's this thing.
Over here?
Yeah.
Do it here? No. Okay. Anyway, so Niall's been playing with the PowerPoint. I work at Capgemini as well, managing consultant. I was coming up here to visit my colleagues. No more. So apparently the company sold a lost center somewhere in Northern Europe. I'm an ASP.NET MVP as well. I like Shirley Temples and dropping into Walmart, apparently. Thanks, Niall.
Yeah, welcome.
But it's okay. I included a picture of Niall when he was young.
Okay. One of the things we were asked to do this talk, and everyone says, well, let's have a bit of fun with it. And I said, okay. So we decided to try and do this as a bit of a kind of a challenge, as do things and go back and forth. But when we originally designed this talk, I was the MVP and Glenn wasn't. And then on a very cruel 1st of April joke, they made him an MVP. And I went, but I still have to defend WebForms. And he's going to defend MVC. Now,
which is kind of ironic since I'm older than you.
Yes, but the smarter one has to develop the more harder topic.
Oh, that's right.
Apparently. That's what your argument was
So
for
why,
me.
why are you doing WebForms then? Oh.
Yeah, nice try. But first, we're going to do a little bit of history. So back in the year 2000, most of us were getting drunk. And in about 2001, 2002, Microsoft released the first .NET betas. And ASP.NET was born in about 2002. Now, if we look at this is why I included this slide, because you've got, back in 2002, IE controlled 95% of the browser market. That is 12 years ago. That is, and now in like 2012, this is an old slide, but we've got a market share completely different. But what they brought up was that WebForms was designed to bring developers who are used, actually, let's go a little bit further back. Microsoft.NET was designed to compete with Java, and whereby Java developers were writing on a single code base and deploying to multiple different types of platforms. Microsoft said, we have a very fragmented ecosystem. What we're going to try and do is consolidate that. So for those of you who remember things like VB and C++ and J++ and Fox Pro and all these other languages that Microsoft had, they all had a very different way of implementing the base constructs.
Who here got paid to write Visual Basic code? Awesome.
We've got a lot of old people in the crowd. That's awesome.
Maybe
All of you other people, just share a little sigh of like, aw, for the old people in the audience. Yeah, and there's a couple of people going, VB? Yes. What's a VB? So what they did was they said, right, we have in C++, an int was 32-bit, and in VB, an int was 16-bit. And in SQL Server, an int was, I think, up to 64-bit. And it meant that all this different interoperability was a problem. So they decided to kind of say, let's actually consolidate all the languages and build two new ones based off the two most popular ones we have, which is Visual Basic and C++. C++ morphed into C#, and VB morphed into VB-Fred. And if you haven't seen VB-Fred, go Google it. It's actually quite an interesting concept. And what they decided to do after that was, okay, how do we bring client developers to the web? And they said, well, what we're going to do is we are going to make it the point and click and code behind in WebForms. And that's where WebForms came from. And if we continue on a little bit, we can actually see that page loading time. Where did this one come from?
Yours.
Oh, mine. Oh, yeah. It's
This is not mine.
This is not yours. The page loading time on example of in 2002 was 16 seconds. It's now down to 6. Now, if we were to go back and say talk about the MVC, where MVC came from.
So MVC came out of a different need because they, like Niall says, back then they were bringing Windows developers into the web. And the web was sort of just growing, and it was growing fast, and suddenly the web was a special thing. And so some people were working out, okay, let's try and work the web as it's supposed to be worked. And Ruby on Rails, anyone ever used that? Ruby on Rails came out, and people were like, oh my God, this is awesome. This gets rid of all the flunky stuff, all the abstractions on top of HTTP with their MVC approach. And Microsoft says, oh, well, and people went to more to the other side of this scale here. They were feeling godlike and moving on, and well, people were back in WebForms and having problems.
No, we weren't. We were happy. We were ignorant.
They were having these abstractions, and the abstractions were giving you it's friction in your daily work, and people wanted more control of what happened to their HTML and how does things pass from the request into the finished project. And Ruby on Rails was getting a lot of traction, and Microsoft says, oh, we got to get on that train. And Scott Guthrie, hell would be his name, was on a plane with no snakes, but a computer. And so he wrote the first version of ASP.NET MVC on a plane going into a meeting, and he came into me and said, look, guys, check this out. This looks really nice.
Now, I want to just interrupt there a little bit. Think about this. This guy wrote an entire framework based off a... Did everyone else hear the bird? No. This guy wrote an entire framework on a plane without any Google or Bing help. How many of you, if I asked you today to work on a project you had no idea what you were doing without the internet, would go, how many of you would do it? Let me just put up a show of hands. How many of you don't know how to use it, haven't used the internet for doing work, are kind of completely screwed? That's not a very honest amount of people. Because to be honest, about the internet and IntelliSense, I'm just a very intelligent typist. Now, when they continued on with this, they decided they were outside of the band, or out of band with WebForms. Because WebForms is very tied to the ASP.NET framework, which is very much tied to System.web, which is tied to every release of .NET and Visual Studio. And that is where MVC allowed it to be they built their own version of System.web. But
enough with history lessons.
yes, let's do some code.
So the thing is, we have two different frameworks. They have completely different histories, but they share a bit of the background, and they do different things different ways.
Right.
So we have devised a set of challenges together.
Kinda.
The other guy doesn't know everything that's in all the challenges.
You can probably guess which challenges I wrote and which challenges he wrote.
So we'll see how this goes.
So the first one, we're taking the process of going from.
Do you guys know how hard it is to find gold envelopes?
Yeah, very. You made your own. Do you know, we're taking the idea that you're starting as a very new developer, okay? Standard day-to-day, you come into your first job, and we're working your way up. So one of the first jobs that any developer gets is to build a CRUD system. In this challenge, your job is to connect to a local SQL database and display the data in a sortable, pageable table. The first one to finish wins. You're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
I'm up. Yeah, Visual Studio here. Okay. So we had a bit of trouble with the machines early on, so this is actually Niall's machine. I've tried this one before, so that's going to be...
He's going to be confused. It's got a white background. He's used to the
I don't do white backgrounds.
coder black.
Oh well.
You're not. They can't see your
application
screen.
9.
They can't
see my screen.
Nope.
I can see my screen just fine.
Yes, you know
What's
you
your
can.
problem, man?
Now they can see your screen.
So I'm just going to make myself an MVC app. And so we're going to make a little app. We're going to do some employees.
Yeah, we'll do the employee, the HR.
So we got the Adventure Work database to play with. It's creating the web application 9. You haven't been using this machine a lot, have you?
No. Do you know? You can always tell who's a presenter. They've got web application 47, web application 48. It's still building. What the hell are you importing?
I don't know. I just created web application 9. Apparently, it's going through 1 through 8 to find old stuff. I don't know.
Okay. I'll explain what you're going to do then while we're waiting.
So anyway, while we're waiting for this, I would like to get the Solution Explorer up, and it looks like it's almost coming along. But I need to get myself a database, and we're going to do this the nice and easy and fast way. We got a database, so we're doing data first. Let's just add, there's a lot of stuff here. New item. So let's add, maybe go to data. Let's make an entity data model. EF designer from database.
Should be able to do it on .local. So just
server name dot.
Yeah.
Enter database name. Adventure works. This is great. Adventure as entities. Just gonna accept that. Go and pluralize. I want all the tables.
No, you just want the view. You can use the HR view.
HR view.
There's a human resources and view employee.
The employee. We'll do that one. Thank you. Finish. So this is basically pulling database, creating a model, quick and easy way. The database is already there. The entity framework can do code first as well, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to run the template, which is just generating a bunch of classes for me, which is always nice. And then we go to controllers, add. You don't have the scaffold item here.
Oops. Did I point out something? Can I point out something as well?
Thank you.
Yeah. It says, however, this is your first job and you're a bit of a noob. You're only allowed to use out-of-the-box functionality, no external libraries, no NuGet.
Oh, COG.
So.
Well, I'm screwed then.
Okay.
We had the paging and sorting. You said that, right?
Yes, I did. Now.
Okay, so so I'll be screwed then when he doesn't have scaffold item, but you can basically make scaffold item. It says it makes a controller, it makes different action, it makes different views, but what it doesn't add is paging and sorting. So it's relatively easy to solve. You just pull in a couple of external libraries, and do a little bit of code, and you're good to go. But
so, if we do.
Apparently someone
rigged
the rules here.
Dude, I'm taking every single thing I got. So if we do like
But to be fair, if you're a total noob, okay, maybe you don't know all this stuff. Again, without Google IntelliSense, what are you going to do?
exactly. So one of the things here is like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I just click to my toolbox here. And I'm going to actually do this by SQL data source. These are things that people are in the audience who may never have seen. This is called drag and drop. This is new. New connection, select a database. We're going to do the exact same thing here. Click OK, click next. Yes, next. And I want to use a specific custom one because there is a little weird thing. If you use a query builder here, and if we do on views, and we do v employee, and we do.
So if you guys want to reach out and give us comments via Twitter, because you don't want to say it here, that's okay. We'll be monitoring the Twitter feed for the TDConf hashtag.
So I'm just going to do first name, and let's see, I'll do first name, last name, and phone number, because we like those things. We click OK, we click next, test the query, yes, click finish. So that's that done, and
Got a bad feeling about this one.
I know. And we do a grid view, and I'm just going to say choose data source, it's that, and I'm going to enable page, enable sorting, and click Control S.
That paging and sorting is slightly easier than it would be for me.
We press F5, we wait a bit.
You actually spent longer time building it than you did dragging and dropping it.
Yeah. I'm buying some stuff on Amazon apparently. And there we go. So that is an example of WebForms kicking MVCs in the ass. So what happened there? I'm going to close everything now because I'm afraid of what I've actually bought on Amazon.
Who here has done drunk shopping on Amazon?
How many of you next morning went, what the hell did I buy on Amazon when it goes, your order has shipped?
It's like, what order?
So what we just showed there was that even though WebForms is quite old, WebForms is 12 years old at this stage, it still does provide a lot of benefit when it comes to doing this type of work. Data over wire, or data over forms like this is very, very quick and effective and easy. Now we're also kind of, I have maybe little battled a small bit differently here and said, okay, I've stacked the deck in my favor. I've not allowed Glenn to use NuGet, but if we look at a lot of the developers out there, we have this concept of dark matter developers. They're the 95% of developers out there who don't attend conferences, who don't read blogs, who don't exist in any other kind of virtual realm. They just kind of work 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 in Norwegian terms, and that's it. And they're the type of developers that you can't target because they don't want to listen. They do an existing problem, they have that, they know what they're doing, and it works. One of the complaints, I think, when Microsoft started shipping MVC was stuff was revving too quickly.
So at a conference, I was talking to some Microsoft people, and they got complaints that you're moving too fast. It's like, what? But the web is moving fast. Yeah, but you're moving too fast, because I used WebForms, and they had upgraded every 2 years. And that was fine. Every 2 years, I took 2 weeks vacation, learned all the new stuff, and it was done. And then I could use that for 2 more years. Now things are coming out every 6 months, every 3 months. So we're actually getting feedback that you're moving along too fast. But the problem that's the wrong problem to have. So the web is moving fast, and you just got to keep up. There you go.
These are our dark matter developers.
Yes, that's Niall waiting for me to finish my demo. But,
okay.
Niall, so you're moving on, and you're supposed to deploy your thing, and it turns out it wasn't just the manager, your manager that was going to use it. You're going to put this out on the web. So we're going to optimize it a little bit. So optimize it for speed and small wire requirements. We got to get rid of some stuff on your page.
What are you talking about?
View state.
View state. View state's lovely.
So one of the reasons people moved to MVC was to have more control over their stuff.
I'm going over here.
You're going to be over there. Go sit in the view state corner. So people suddenly started caring about their HTML. And WebForms didn't allow you to do that. WebForms was very rigid in its HTML. And it had a lot of stuff in it that you couldn't control. So what are you going to do about that?
Well,
see, I'll do my demo first.
okay.
I'm done. It's your turn. Because I
Listen,
got my HTML is exactly what I need it to be.
All right. Okay. View state. The thing with view state is, and regardless of the number of people I think I'm actually just swearing to a lot of people here now. View state actually isn't fully required for all of WebForms functionality. It's only required if you're going to do something really stupid, I think. Like setting
the color of a label?
Setting the label for color programmatically. Setting the actual, to be using grids, for example, to use grid view right now.
Who here knows what view state is? Want to show them now?
Yeah.
Show the interested people in the crowd what view state is.
Okay, we'll show what view state looks like. F5. Here.
They can't see your screen.
They can't see my screen. They can't see my screen. Why can't they see my screen? Windows key P. Duplicate. Wait for the demo gods.
There we go. They can see your screen.
Okay. View page source. So that's view state right there. And what
Which is basically a base 64 encoded structure of what's the data on the page. And it's more or less duplicating what's already in the HTML.
So what we are trying to do is disable that. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start with that.
Okay. So let's do that. Shift F5. So we can do that very simply in system.web and just do pages, enable view state equals false. And if we do Control S and we press F5 and we wait a little longer, web server is not configured for this directory. Oh, let me just think. I probably just
While he's doing that, I'd like to formally thank IT-chefen,
yeah.
a company across there who went above and beyond the Call of Duty to get Niall a little adapter. So they actually sent out a guy who sat in the car waiting outside the store for them to open, ran and bought it, and came back here within 10 minutes.
So there's my view state now. It's about a K, maybe less.
Okay, it's smaller.
Okay, so what I've done is I've just disabled view state across all pages. Now, let's just hope this works and the demo gods actually work and 4 connects up and yes, and I can still sort by phone number. Sorting still works. Paging still works out of the box without view state. Now, many of us think view state is required for all web forms, and they'd be right. Web forms does require a little bit of view state regardless of what it's actually doing. It doesn't matter. No matter what I do, I cannot fully get rid of view state. I can reduce it down to its basis, which in this case is this line here, but it's still required for absolutely everything we're going to do. And that's because of the way web forms is designed. Now, this is something that I think is quite funny. I look at the number of people who say, right, we've gone to a level of super abstraction, where we've highlighted everything, we've brought it so far up, all you have to do is drag and drop. And what do people want to do? They want to go back down to base principles yet again. They want to go back. I want to be right on the metal. And that's what MVC is doing. But in web forms, where I'm kind of saying, yeah, I'm going to kick your ass because I only had to make one change and I'm still done, it's probably one change more than you had to do.
Yeah.
Come on. It's one change.
And also your HTML is, so the JavaScript underscore postback grid view 39 sort first name.
Yeah, well, I've got...
It's gone.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a bunch of abstractions in web forms, which makes it harder for you if you care about the HTML and you want to care about optimizing the way stuff works. Do you want to do 2 forms on the same page?
No.
Okay.
I
Because
can't.
web forms can't do that. Because there's an abstraction that you can only have 2 form control tags on one page. The other one doesn't work. It has to be outside the entire web form stack. So
View state.
this is view state showing. And this is me.
Right.
The point is, there's advantages. He has some advantages, but they come at a price. And the price is he has better speed at the development, but I have the possibility of more speed and flexibility afterwards, making
So,
the final result.
I call it a 1-1 right now.
I agree with that. Anyone disagree with a 1-1?
I'm winning 1, he's winning 1. You disagree?
5?
5 minutes.
5 to 1?
No, I got 5 points.
I get 5. Yeah, I get 5 points, right?
No.
No.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes to entertain you a little bit longer. We're a bit asleep. We're apologizing a little bit because we were meant to have 2 laptops and meant to screw with each other a bit more than this, but it's very difficult when we only have one. The HDMI thingy doesn't like HDMI. Right, let's have a bit of a show of hands. How many of you have actually done web forms professionally in anger? How many of you wish you hadn't? Ah, this is going to be much better.
I made some good money on that.
Okay, let's ask. When you learned WebForms, for example, when you started out with WebForms, what did you think? What was your general kind of, yeah, this is good, this is bad, and then when did you ever have a revelation to move to MVC? Anyone willing to take the floor? Yes.
Start was awesome. Fantastic.
Which is?
WebForms.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
WebForms is
start was awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
For we.
Thanks.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I like him. I like this guy.
Yeah, that's why we sold it.
He's in my camp.
Okay, when we were doing WebForms at the start, a lot of stuff was there. We were still transitioning in very baby steps to the web. This is a point when classic ASP and PHP were the two dominant standards, or you use Java and Flash. It's still a bit like that, but like if I was to ask you right now, how many of you could say, I would prefer to write in MVC or in WebForms? Probably majority would say MVC because it's right now it is considered the new.
Got a little piece of context here.
Yeah.
WebForms was coming out at a time where most web developers didn't know CSS.
I still don't know CSS.
I said most web developers. You're still doing WebForms.
Thanks, buddy. Okay, we've got a couple of minutes. We're going to break a little bit early. Did we do that? No? There we go. We have a little bit of a break. We have a 15-minute break now. If you have any questions, shout now, and we'll try and answer them now. Or you can disappear, have coffee, and come back in 15 minutes, we hope. If there's only 2 people left, we know the first part sucked. So please, be nice, come back. We've got nice candy and a nice van outside.
Come into the van, we got cookies.
Okay, folks, time, if you have any questions, please, you can approach us. And
We'll take a 15-minute break, and we'll be back here at
11 o'clock. Yeah, thanks very much, folks.